So let's start recording. Okay, so what we have been doing now, kind of without you guys knowing it, is that we have been working with APIs. And does anyone know what an API is? Yes, exactly. It's an application programming interface. So kind of said in another way, it's a way to it's a way for developers to get some information in a like really simple way. And like the classical way of kind of saying this is with an outlet, right? When I'm using it here, there's like an interface, which is the socket I plug into here, and now I have power. I have no idea how they've done with the wires and how from the power plant like electricity comes. I have no idea. But this is just a really simple interface for me to get power. I just plug it in here and I get power. I don't need to think about all the technicalities about getting power and like everything that goes into that, which is extremely complicated, right? So it's like a way for me to easier get some data, or in this example, it's like an easy way for me to get power. So for example, imagine this API with the astronauts that were in space. If we did not have this API, it would be immensely difficult. Not immensely difficult, but it would be a lot of work. We would probably need to search online, Wikipedia. We would all the time need to keep this list updated, because when like new astronauts come up and down and all these things, like I don't want to be thinking about that at all. I just want to have this interface where I can go to this website and then I get the number of astronauts that are in space right now. So it's like it's an interface for me to get the astronauts in an easy way. And there are lots of APIs on the web. You can get APIs with Chuck Norris jokes. You can get APIs with random numbers that are generated by like fluctuations in like atoms, that like really crazy stuff, where we as JavaScript developers get all this functionality kind of for free, because we can just use fetch and we can get that data down to us as JSON. So that's like super cool. Okay, so I want to kind of go through a typical way of getting some data from an API. You can get it lots of different ways. This is a very simple one. We hit a URL and we get some data. Super simple. There's another one. Here it's called a JSON placeholder.typecode.com. So it's like thick online REST API. Don't think too much about the REST part. You're going to be working with that when you get to Node a lot. So you will also get into this much more, but we just need to be focused on how to use it and not so much how it's made. So here's an example. Run this code in a console or from any site. Okay, so it's some to-dos, right? So we hit this URL, bang, and now we have a to-do. So kind of depending on the documentation of this API, we can get different things. So if I say I don't want the first to-do, I just want to-dos, then I get a list of to-dos. This is all fake data, it's not real data. We can get users. Okay, so here we have an array of just fake users. If we want the first one, we can say /1. But that is only because this API has programmed it that way. It kind of depends. So what is important when you use a new API is that you go in and read the documentation. So let's see if we can find some documentation here. Resource. So this is kind of the documentation. JSON placeholder comes with a set of 6 common resources. /posts, 100 posts. /comments, 500 comments. So it kind of explains a little bit about how we access the API and how we get data from it. Okay, then there's some routes here, /posts, /post /1 gives us the first one, /post /1 /comments, it gives us the comments of the first post. So we can try and go in there. There's some different comments here. It's all test data, so it doesn't really matter that much. And then there's something here where it goes like question mark, post ID = 1. This is called the query parameter. And you see that a lot with if you, for example, go to YouTube and you go into a video here. So you see here the URL is /watch. Then we have the question mark. It means now this is a query parameter. And here it's saying the version is, this is probably the ID of the video. Then I think we can do like, isn't there one where we can say share, and then here, see, then it puts another query parameter called t, which is equal to time. So I'm just trying to explain a little bit about like how the structures are, but this all depends on the API. So you are going to be working with a CAT API now, and it's called the CAT API. The CATS API, CATS as a service, every day is CAT a day. Okay, so when we have what's it called, APIs like this, oftentimes they'll be really good at describing how we can actually get some data from this API. So it says here, sign up for free, get your own API key, and make your own app. So the reason we get an API key is that if people didn't sign up for this service, you could just access this anywhere, and their servers will get so much traffic all the time because people are just bombarding it, right? But when we sign up, then we sign up with our email, and then we get a key back, and we say every time we try to get some CAT data, we have to specify the key that we got. So it's kind of like saying, hey server, I want this data, and by the way, it's me, Benjamin, that wants it. And then it's counting, it's going like, okay, that was the first time. And then the next time I try, it's like, oh, that was second time, and the third time, oh, that was third time. And some APIs, they have limits. Like you can't just request the server like 1,000 times, but that I don't think you will run into. So let's take an example here. We want to sign up here. I have already done that. So from the CAT API, I got this email. This is like super dangerous. Let's see. So I signed up here with my email and just some app description. It was like Hack Your Future Student API something. You could say whatever you want. Your API key is this, okay? Just use it as X API key header when making requests to the API. That sounds a little weird. Let's try and avoid that. That's a little tricky. So, okay, let's say we have the API key now. Now I want to go into the documentation because I want to see how I can get some cute cat pictures, right? So the first one here, it says authentication. And then it says, use the API key that was emailed to you when you signed up to authenticate every request you send to the API. Then it says here, like the best and most secure way to send it with the request header. But there's also here the query parameter. Okay, cool. And then now I'm just looking, I'm saying, oh, HTTPS, the CAT API, blah, blah, blah. And it says here, question mark, API key equals something. Okay, so what I will be doing is I'll just copy this, I'll paste it in here, and then I will take this API key. Oops. Did I not do that correctly? I'm pretty sure I did. Let's just try that with another. Let's search by breed. So take this and add the API key. Sorry. Take this. And I want to add in the API key. Okay, I already have some data. So now I have some JSON. So it's like we are accessing the API and we are getting some breeds with the API key. The exercise is going to be about find some information about cats that have the breed Siberian. Okay, so we need to find out how we can get cat pictures of the breed Siberian. So it's something like search for the breeds here. Here it says, for example, api.thecatapi.com/v1/images.
Can you zoom in a bit?
Oh, sorry.
You guys are supposed to test that. How can you even take that?
Yes. So this is an example where we search for the breed Bing. Okay. Let's try and copy that here. And if we access it now, can we get it? No. And why is that, do you think? Exactly. I forgot the key. I need to say that I am the one who's specifying this data. And then I need to... Okay, so this was a little tricky. See here how it says we have a query parameter. We have one, it's called breed_IDs. This is where you specify the IDs. Now I want to say I want another query parameter called API key. Now I can't use the question mark, I have to use the and, because it's like we have this query parameter and we have this query parameter. I can do it like this. So it's like I have this is the first query parameter. Okay. So first off, I'm using the API of the cat API. I'm looking for images. Okay. And I'm searching. What I am searching for is the breed that are Bing. Okay. So that's the first query parameter. The second one is with the and. This is my API key. Okay. I'll copy this just so you have that. And I will say here your API key. Okay. When we do that, so now we have some JSON data that it kind of looks okay. So we can try and, for example, take this one. So this looks like an image. Oh yeah, it's a cute cat picture. Cool. That is of the Bengal cats. Okay. Yes. So with this, remember that get your API key, and you need to specify that API key. Okay. So if I was you, I would first take this URL. I'm gonna copy it into Slack. Oh, sorry. This one. I would take this, and if we want to use this in JavaScript, what should we do?
Fetch.
Exactly. We should use fetch.
And in the end, API key.
What, sorry?
And in the end of the HTTP, API key to get information.
Yes.
Yes.
So we, like we've done today, we say fetch, okay? But now it's the cats that we are looking for. We're looking for images and we're searching for the Bengal cats, okay? So what would be a better name for this maybe? Yeah, cats, or yeah, that's fine. Cat images or cats or something like that. Yes.
So we have to sign up for the...
Yes. Yes. And so the first part is figuring out how to get... I would start off with getting the Bengal cats and then see if you can figure out how to get the Siberian cats. And after that, I want you to display 3 Siberian cats. And that might be a little tricky. But try looking for the documentation, and me and Rohit will be here. Your homework for next week is going to be something kind of like this, or for this week, sorry. But just it's not cats we are accessing weather data. Yes.
This one is going to take long.